Hello, UNICEF committee. I know this is the worst. This is the worst time to have MUN as it is. We have so many holidays all of a sudden, but I do not want you guys to go on easy mode. Take these a few days seriously. It's time for you to research and gather all your information so that you can win best delegate. And I know it's very confusing, so I've right now made a short presentation for you, which will answer all the questions you delegates have been sending me. And let's just start, okay? So this is everything you need to know for MUN on just basically your whole MUN career. You can use this presentation or video by Esha Vacha, your awesome chair, obviously. So let's just go over the stuff that we'll be talking about again and again, okay? Because all of these are important. Position papers, speeches, motions, points that you can raise, and resolutions that needs to be made in the committee. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it's only a few things, and I'll skip over position papers because we talked about it enough. But I will be going through some of the things that we haven't learned in class, so let's get started, Position papers, I have received almost everybody's, and I've checked them for plagiarism and AI. I think we have a few people with AI, but that's okay. I'm not going to be directly texting you or anything because I'm just gonna make my gradings in that way. But most like 95% of us did really well. No plagiarism, no AI, so I'm very happy about that. UNHCR though, let's not talk about them. They have a little bit of plagiarism and a lot of AI, but I'm happy with our committee and how we have done our papers, and I've read through them. They're all very excellent. They're very good, okay? Opening speech. So there has been a lot of questions about what the opening speech should be, and I've read through some people's and they've sent it to me. First thing we have to know is that the opening speech has to be powerful, memorable, and entertaining. So it should stick to someone's mind. So everyone should be remembering you after your speech. Everyone should be thinking, wow, that delegate is so good. I love their speech. Ooh, I want to team up with them once you're done, okay? Another question I've been getting is that your opening speech is not your position paper. They are two different things. The position paper is very boring. It's just information and statistics and facts. It's very much boring. Of course, you can use the information that you used in your position paper in your speech, but do not write it as an essay, okay? It's a 1-minute speech and you only have 1 minute to win over everyone, okay? So it has to be fun. It has to be entertaining. It can be funny. It can be sad. It can be, you can make people angry. You can, judge people. You can say this. You could say that. You could, if you're USA, you can throw some shade at China. You could throw some shade over there. You know what I mean? You could say anything you want. It just has to stick to me. So if you need me to remember your country. So when I look at you and after I hear your speech, I should be like, oh, that's the delegate of Gambia, or that's the delegate of Kenya, that's the delegate of Republic of Korea. I should be remembering you because of your speech. If you don't have a good speech, I'm going to keep asking you, what country are you again? What country are you again? Because your speech didn't stick with me. Also, another question I've been asking is, how do you refer to yourself? Do you say I am, or do you say you, or do you say me, or do you say us, or they, or what? You call yourself the delegate of your country, okay? You never refer to yourself as me, I, you. You never use those pronouns. You have to use the delegate of. And you can, when you're talking about your own feelings and your own opinions, you have to say the delegate of Japan is very sad, or the delegate of the United States of America is extremely infuriated about this. But if you're talking about something America has done or something Japan has done, you have to say the United States of America. You don't say delegate, because you didn't do anything. You're gonna do something, but you didn't do anything yet, okay? The country has done something. So the country is the country, and you, me, someone is the delegate. So if you even wanted to talk about someone else in your committee, you have to say the delegate of the United States of America is extremely angry at the delegate of the delegate of China, whatever. So speak as the delegate. You are the delegate, and your country is your country. It's not first person. It's not exactly first person. It's like second person, okay? you're not saying I, me, or you, and you're not saying like, well, it is kind of third person, right? So you have 1 minute to read your speech, okay? So what if you don't take up the entire 1 minute? What if you, what if you finish before 1 minute? So let's say one person does their speech and they have 30 seconds left, okay? I recommend you guys take the whole 1 minute, because this is what happens. If you have extra time, you can give the extra time to me, the chair. So you can say, I yield my time to the chair, my extra time to the chair. Or you can open the floor for questions. So you can say, the delegate of the is open to questions. Any delegate can ask you any question about your speech. They could say, where is this point from? Is it true that this happened? What about this in your country? They can ask you anything, and you have to be ready to answer that. But opening yourself to questions, that's very confident, and you will be getting extra points if you do. But I don't think you'll have enough time, as we only have 1 minute for the speech. And once you reach the 55-second mark, I'll say, delegate, only 5 seconds left, and then you have to wrap up your speech, okay? I'm so sorry, but I hate when I have to do this, but I hate when people cut me off. But during these speeches, if you go over, like, I won't let you go over 1 minute, because that's not fair for everybody else. So if you have extra time, you can give it to the chair, or you can ask people to ask you questions, okay? Or if you have extra time and you're friends with somebody, you can give the time to them. So let's say the USA has 30 seconds left. They can give that 30 seconds. They could say, I yield my time to the delegate of the UK. And they can share time because they're friends. Well, they're allies. And they can just, share time. This can go for any speech, okay? Even when we're talking during motions and stuff, it can happen then as well, okay? If you have extra time, you can give it to someone else. You can give it to the chair, or you can ask for questions, okay? If you don't have extra time, you don't have to worry about that. Just sit back down. This is my opening speech. This is one of them that I found. And for this opening speech, I did get best delegate. And as you can see, you'd have to read it out. There's a way, even if your speech looks boring, the way you read it also matters, okay? Everyone asked me about how to start their speech. I usually just start it addressing the chair and the delegates. So I say distinguished chair and esteemed delegates. And I start with a fact, and then I use statistics, and then I talk about the history. But this is kind of boring, but make your speech fun. And the way you read it is also very important, guys. You have to read it confidently, and you have to read it in a way which makes you look like you know everything. You know everything, and you're very heartfelt about this topic, okay? So this is my speech. You can read through it. If you want, I'll send you a clip of me reading it, because the way I read it and the way it's written is very different, okay? So that's my opening speech. So that's just to help you guys understand what a speech really does look like. Because I did get, the delegate of Japan believes that, typo, whatever. But you see how I'm talking about myself in a different way? The delegate of Japan implores this esteemed assembly to join hands. So that's something I want to happen. But when I say Japan witnessed a devastating correlation, that means something is happening to Japan. But when it's my own feelings and my own opinion, I say the delegate of Japan. So that's how it works. So tips, I basically would say look at a mirror and read your speech, okay? And then you'll see how your face looks when you're reading a speech. If you look like a loser, and if you're reading like a loser, then you're gonna look like a loser to everybody else. So I suggest you read it like, no one's looking at you. Something that helps me when I read for the first MUN at school, I just imagined, I was nervous, okay? I was nervous reading my speech, but then I imagined how nervous everyone else is, okay? Everyone in that room is nervous. So then you could be like, oh, so if everyone is nervous, why should I be nervous? Like, what's the point of everyone being nervous? It's not going to be fun. And it's a room full of your friends, guys. Like, come on. There's really no problem. And if you're scared of the chair, come on, guys. Like, why are you scared of me? Just chill, okay? It's just a chill little event. This is for practice. Obviously, if you do it well, you can win. But you also have to just let go a little. Say your speech. If you fumble a word, No one's gonna know, because I didn't write your speech. That person didn't write your speech. You wrote your speech. So I won't know if you made a mistake or not. And if you make it very obvious, like if you fumble a word, if you say the and then you stop and look at everybody, then everyone will know you messed up. But if you go excuse me, and then you just move on, what's the big deal? And you only have 1 minute, so you can't just stop in between and just stutter. Just keep going. Who cares? Let everyone look at you. Let everyone hear you stumble. Who cares, guys? Come on now. But those are my tips. And if you have any more questions about the opening speech, just send it to me. But it's a very easy thing to understand. Do not ChatGPT your speech, because ChatGPT, the speeches they make, very boring. I fall asleep and I will give you a bad score. The opening speech is graded out of 10, so I will be listening to everyone has to say their opening speech, okay? So you have to have one ready. Everyone has to have an opening speech, because everyone will have a chance to say their speech, okay? Motions and what they are. We already talked about what they are, but I did forget to mention the most important motions, okay? When on the first day of committee, the first motion that should ever be raised is the motion to open the GSL list. So that's the general speakers list. And whoever opens this motion the first day, it has to pass. Everyone has to raise their pluck card, okay? The motion to open the general speakers list is the motion to start saying the opening speech. So the delegate, for example, would say, the delegate of blah would like to raise a motion to open the general speakers list for a speaking time of 1 minute and a mod time for 15 minutes. Honestly, you don't have to say the times and stuff. I don't expect you to do that. But you could say for 15 speakers or for 10 speakers. But on the first day, let's do only 5 speakers first. So write this down, guys. The delegate of something would like to raise the motion to open the general speakers list for 5 speakers. And then it should pass, and then you can raise your cards, and whoever wants to go first, the person who raised the motion will go first or last, and then people will start saying their motion. So that's a very important motion. Do not forget to raise that, okay? Because that starts the committee. Important motion that everyone can raise. This is another motion that is very much important to the committee. The delegate of dash would like to raise the motion to commence an unmoderated caucus of dash minutes. An unmoderated caucus, I'm pretty sure you guys already know. You guys can walk around, be informal, talk about the blogs. You can create blogs, you can lobby, and you can make allies, and you can come up with the resolution paper. That's the time to do that. But that can only happen if anyone raises the motion to start one, right? If everyone is just doing mod caucuses, then no unmods will happen and nothing will happen ever. So someone has to raise this motion, and you could say 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It all depends on the day. Of course, on the first day, it will be more moderated caucuses, but you can still raise it unmod. And on the second day, it will be more unmods, because you have to work on the resolution paper. So this is another important motion. So the first important motion was the motion to open the general speakers list. And the second motion would like to raise a motion to commence an unmoderated caucus. The other motions, please have them prepared, guys. I expect you guys to come up with at least 2 motions per person, okay? Okay. These are the points that every delegate must know how to say to seem cool. I really only say these points when I want to seem cool and I want to look like I know what I'm doing. So these are some points. This is an important one. Point of personal privilege. You most probably will use this point. So this is the point that you use when you want to go to the bathroom. If it's too cold, you could say point of personal privilege to turn down the AC, or if you want another person to repeat what they just said. But this really just goes for anything that happens in the committee. If you want something to be repeated, if you want something to be said again, anything really, you could raise a point of personal privilege. So an example is, point of personal privilege, can the delegate of blah repeat their motion? So that you would say to someone else. And obviously you can only say anything during moderated caucuses when you're recognized. So I have to call on you, okay? So you have to raise your card. Or another example of point of personal privilege is the delegate of blah would like the AC temp to be lowered. That it can be done, guys. Don't be afraid to ask, and these adds to your points, okay? Every time we talk about this, I add a point to you. So don't just rate. Okay. Next, point of information. This is raised when you want to question another delegate on their facts or info. Basically I wrote the entire meaning on the slide, so I'm just gonna read it out. If you see some sus info being said, like the delegate of Russia has seen an article saying that Russia was never a communist nation. So like obviously that is wrong. If the delegate of Russia ever says that, everyone will be like, what are they even talking about? So you can say, point of information, wasn't Russia always a communist nation or country or whatever? So you can say this via a chit. You can say point of information. You can write point of information. Wasn't Russia always a communist country? And you can send it to the EB, and then the EB can ask Russia, as the delegate of Russia, can you please send your source so I can recheck your information. Basically, it's a way to catch a delegate lying, and you could tell the EB, and we can investigate, okay? These are very good to get points, because that means you know history, you know your information, and you know your facts. So look out for people saying random stuff, and then you can call points of information, okay? Point of order. If the chair messes something up, which I probably will be doing, you can say point of order, and you can fix the chair. So sometimes I might forget to do the roll call in the morning, so I might forget to check if everyone is there. And you can say point of order, is the chair not going to do attendance? And then I'd say thank you, delegate, we will be doing attendance, and then I'd start. This is, I don't know why I wrote unlikely. It is very likely to happen, so don't be afraid to correct me. I won't give you negative points if you say I'm doing something wrong. Obviously we're all here to learn, so don't worry about it. So I hope everyone knows what blocks are. They're groups of like a group that is made with countries, and they have the same beliefs, the same systems, the same views on topics and everything. But I do not want to see just friends grouping up. Like I don't want to see friends like just sitting together and chatting about their girlfriends or boyfriend. I don't know what you guys do, but I don't want to see that. Okay, that's boring. And for blocks in your block, those are the people you work with, okay, on the resolution paper and stuff. Those people are the people you work with, okay? So you have to be very careful which countries are working with you. If you're a poor country and you team up with other poor countries, when you're sharing your resolution paper, they'll say, where are you gonna get the money to do all this? And then you'll look around and you'll see that you only have poor countries in your group. So you obviously need a rich country. So you have to make sure you know every country pretty well to understand who you want in your block and why do you want them in your block, so that you'll persuade them. So if I'm like, okay, let's say I'm Chad from the continent Africa. Let's say I'm the delegate of Chad, and I want to build a better country. I cannot just team up with poor countries. I have to team up with the USA. I need to team up with European countries because they have the money. So that's my point. Like, you have to make sure you pick every person in your block very selectively, okay? You can't just let anyone in your block. But if they want to join, that's great. That's an extra vote for your resolution. And you can name your block literally anything you want, okay? Last year we did like the chair is super fun and cute, like something like that. I don't remember. You can do that obviously, but you can name it like, I don't know, what do you guys like? Skibbity toilet? You can name a skibbity toilet if you want. So I've mentioned the resolution paper a few times because it is a very important part of MUN. The resolution paper is usually made on the second day of MUN, okay? So the last day for us, basically. So the resolution paper is made by each block on their points and their problems, and they discuss solutions in the resolution paper. The resolution paper, in the end, gets voted on. So if there are 2 blocks, at least 2 blocks minimum, then they would come up, they would present their paper, like 3 people or 5 people from that block would present the paper, and then there will be a vote on which paper passes. So you're really trying to get your resolution paper to pass. So that means having more people like the paper and having more people in your block means your resolution has a higher chance of passing. Resolution paper making is very fun. You have to do it during unmods. You can't do it during moderated caucuses. So see why it's important to raise unmods during the second day and not during the first day. Of course in the first day, but like resolution papers, they're very tricky to understand, but I hopefully have made a good points that you guys can grasp on. So each block makes a resolution paper, which will then be presented and voted on, and whichever gets the most votes is the winning resolution paper. Okay? So in a resolution paper, there is a thing called preambulatory phrases. This is a thing where you state the problems faced by the countries in the committee related to the topic. So in the background guide, I have posted all the preambulatory phrases that you guys can use. So you see in the front, it says acknowledging. That's a preambulatory phrase, okay? And the problem is followed by that. Acknowledging is a preambulatory phrase. The mental trauma faced by victims of rape. That is a problem that is faced by children, and it's hard to eliminate violence because of that, okay? That's one example of a preambulatory phrase. So you have to come up with multiple problems like that, and then you have to find solutions for them. But there's a way to list your solutions as well, and that is the operative clauses. Operation meaning a solution, okay? Operative clauses is where you find solutions to your preambulatory phrases that you have made. So the operative clause here is also urges. I can't go back. Sorry, wait, hold on. Guys, this is not how it was meant to be. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, operative clauses. The operative clause here is also urges. I posted all the clauses and phrases in the background guide, so have it downloaded before you come to committee, okay? Because you're not allowed to use Wi-Fi in the committee. You should have all your research downloaded or written down in a book. So the solution that I've come up with is also urges governments to fund therapy sessions for children who are victims to child abuse. So the solution is to get government funding. So that's one solution. So those are operative and preambulatory phrases. Preambulatory, problems. Operative, solutions. Okay? So that's basically a resolution paper. You come up with problems and then you find solutions. That's it. The chits. You can say whatever you want in a chit, and you just have to write it like this. And the only people who can read your chit is the person you're sending it to, you, the OCs, and the chair. So you can send the chair a chit if you have a question. If you have a question for the chair, you can send a chit. And if you have a question for anyone, you can send a chit, okay? You can write whatever you want in the chit. So obviously, like, it won't all be so formal all the time. We'll have fun things that we're doing. We're giving like fun little awards, like most funny, the best dress, the hottest, the best smile. We're doing all those like funny things, and we're gonna do a confessions thing as well. So don't be so upset. It will be fun, guys. So that's the end. You guys can still ask me questions. I know that this is very hard to understand for first timers, so do not be afraid to ask me any questions, but this is basically a base of everything that you need to know for MUN, okay? So hopefully this has helped you in any way. If you have any questions about blocks, resolution papers, speeches, points, motions, anything, please let me know so I can help you. And remember, East or West, UNICEF is the best, okay? Thank you guys. Good night.